Hey everyone, welcome to our class, weekly gentle yoga class. Elizabeth Scally here, honored to be your host. Before we dive in, just want to point out if you can have some of your props handy for assistance in case we use them. Yoga blocks or something equivalent, a strap or something equivalent. And finally, I would recommend, because we're going to be doing postures on our knees uh, on the mat here, getting a blanket of some sort and folding it in accordion style so that it has some thickness to it. And that way you can use it under your knees or between your calves and thighs in child's pose. So sliding it between the calf and thigh in child's pose. So a folded blanket, blocks, strap, water, and you will begin. Before practicing, just reminding you, as I do with each session, if you are under the care of any sort of healthcare provider and they've put a restriction on you in terms of your movement or, range of motion, what you can do, what you can't do, honor any of those guidelines. And more importantly than honoring our healthcare providers' guidelines, honor your guidelines, your physical body in this moment, in this practice today. Yoga is a practice of the present. The beautiful thing about yoga and practicing is every time you come to the mat, it's a clean slate. Every time you practice, it's a new beginning. So you may notice you can go deeper or further in postures than you could in a previous practice. Alternatively, you may notice you're a little bit more limited or constricted than in a previous practice. That is because yoga is in the now. So be curious, explore the poses. My teacher, when I went through yoga teacher training, Christopher, his name was, and I honor lots of his wisdom and my other instructors. But the comment he would make, and it really stuck with me, especially in my world of elbow healing, yoga poses, you're not using the body to get into a posture or a pose. You're using the pose that we practice to get into the physical body, to feel the sensations of the body in this moment, in this practice. So no judgments, no criticisms. Don't let your inner critic say, I'm not flexible. It doesn't matter. We are here to stretch and breathe and expand. All right. So with those words, I'd encourage you to take a seat on your mat, cross-legged style. If you'd like a block underneath your bottom to lift your hips above your knees, if your legs are not yet open today, I suggest sitting on a block. Alternatively, if this posture bothers your knees, you could sit on your blanket to lift your bottom and then have your blocks supporting your knees. So up to you, your choice. Let's begin. Cross-legged seat, hands to the thighs or to a block, grounding your sits bones into the mat beneath you, sitting long and tall through the spine. It's as if there's a string that follows the spine and pulls the crown of the head towards the heavens. Alternatively, pulling the sits bones towards the core of the earth. You might consider gently resting the eyes or taking a soft gaze to the tip of your nose, the mat. Sitting fully supported in this moment. Present here in this space. You have arrived at yoga practice. Noticing your breath, the depth, the pace, the speed. Breathing in and out of the nose, starting to slow down the breath as you sit and observe. And throughout the practice, linking breath with movement. So you can choose to keep eyes closed or open, your choice. Inhaling, sending the gaze upwards. Exhaling the chin to the chest. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Following your breathing in this moment. One more time in each direction before meeting each other back at neutral. Similarly, following the breath, shaking the head no. So inhaling as you turn, exhaling as you come center. Inhaling to turn the opposite direction. Exhaling center. Following your breath, so your pace may be quicker or slower. Keep breathing, keep turning. One more time in each direction before again meeting each other in the middle. You can again continue to keep your eyes closed if that serves you, or blinking them open. Bringing one ear to the shoulder, and then as you exhale, chin comes to chest, rounding the head down and over to the other side, ear towards shoulder. Exhaling, chin to chest. Inhaling, ear to the shoulder. And as you bring the ear towards the shoulder, noticing the sensations in the body. Observe where you feel the stretch and explore. Taking your time. Moving in the moment with the breath. One more time in each direction. And then bringing the head back up to center, coming neutral. Great job, yogis. All right. If you are sitting on a block, you can go ahead and remove the block. We're going to move into the Sufi grind. So keeping your legs cross-legged, hands can come to the thighs or near your hips. And you're going to tilt down with the chest, coming around and then rounding the back, making a full circle using your shoulders, the spine, rotating at the hips. Sufi grind always reminds me of baking. Taking that spoon and moving it slowly or quickly, large or small, into the batter. So play with the Sufi grind, moving at your speed. Again, your choice for size. Let's go the opposite direction. Play with the posture. Notice a smile. Enjoy the practice. Keep on breathing. Warming up that spine. Let's come back to stillness. Great job, everybody. So we're going to swing our legs around and come into tabletop pose. And as I mentioned earlier, if you need something underneath your knees, you can fold a blanket or you can double up or triple up your mat where your knees will be. So your knees will be hip-width distance apart, the tops of your feet pressed into the mat, hands, fingers spread wide, wrists underneath elbows, elbows underneath shoulders, flat back, gaze is down. Tabletop posture. So go ahead and inhale, lift the tail, gaze is up. Drop the belly. And then exhale, round the back, chin to chest. Inhale, lead with the tail. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, arching. Exhale, rounding. Keep following your breathing, moving at the pace of your breath. Coming back to neutral. And this time we're going to wag the tail. So you're going to swing your hips towards one side and at the same time send your gaze over your shoulder, attempting to see your tail. Coming back to neutral. Other side. Inhale. Swing the hips to the side, gazing over your shoulder, attempting to see those hips. Exhaling to neutral. Wagging the tail back and forth. Making a C curve with the spine. One more time, each direction. Coming back to neutral. And let's go ahead and take our knees mat width distance apart, big toes coming to touch behind. Send the hips back towards the heels. And as I mentioned, if this is problematic for you, you can go ahead and put a blanket between your calves and your thighs. Up to you. The arms extend long out in front, overhead. The forehead comes to the mat. or stacking your fists, forehead to fist, or forehead to block. Have the forehead making contact with something. And breathe. With your inhale, lifting the hips, coming back to our tabletop posture. Knees hip width distance apart, hands underneath our shoulders, fingers spread wide. We're going to go ahead and extend one leg back, toes touching, heel flexed, leg is long and strong, and if you choose, lifting the leg off the ground. Exhale, bringing that leg back to the ground, to the mat. Other side, inhaling the leg back, toes touching, flexing at the heel. You can stay right here, or you can choose to lift the leg straight back. Exhaling it back down. One more each side. Toes coming back behind you, heel flexed, or lifting the foot so the leg is parallel to the floor. Exhale, come down. Inhale, toes coming back, choosing to lift if you'd like, and exhaling down. We're going to add our arms in the movement as much as we can. So inhale, one leg back, and then lift the opposite arm. So you're lifting opposite arm is opposite leg. Leaving the back flat. It's as if there's a lightning bolt from the tips of the fingers straight all the way to the heel, an energetic line. Exhaling down, other side. Inhaling the foot and lifting that arm if you're able. Currently I cannot, but lifting opposite arm is opposite leg. Again, that energetic line from tips of fingers all the way to the heel. Bringing that leg back down. One more time each side. You're doing great. Inhale, lifting. Taking a breath. Exhale, lowering. Other side. Inhale, lifting. Breathing here. Exhale, lowering. Great job. Spreading your knees, mat width distance apart. Big toes touching, sending the hips back to the heels. Arms extend over wide, forehead to the mat, child's pose. Taking some breaths, noticing the heat in the body, observing sensation, breathing. With your inhale, lifting the hips, coming back to tabletop. Now we're going to go through a series of low lunge and half split. Don't worry about the half split. It sounds worse than it is. So starting from tabletop, let's go ahead and lift our left leg through towards the front of the mat. That left knee is over that left ankle. The right leg is staying grounded on the mat. You can have blocks on either side of the ankle for your hands, and then lifting at the chest, taking our hands either to our hips, to blocks, or to heart center. Breathing here in low lunge. Our hips are squared to the top of the mat, so drawing that left hip back as that right hip comes forwards. Keep breathing. With our inhale, let's send our hips back. Front leg straightens. Blocks can come to either side of our leg, hands on the blocks, lifting those front toes and attempting to get our nose towards our knee in the half split posture. Breathing here where you're feeling sensation. And then inhaling, bending that front leg. That front knee comes over the front ankle, hands come back up to our hips or to prayer posture. Low lunge. Taking several breaths. And then exhaling, coming back to our half split. The front leg straightens, lifting those front toes. Hands come to blocks as our nose attempts to come to our knee. Feeling that stretch in the back of our leg. All right, release. Let's go ahead and switch sides. So allowing that front foot to come back to tabletop, knee under hip, and then lifting the right leg through the middle. Our right foot comes forwards. Our right knee is over our right ankle. Left leg remains grounded to the mat. Hands come to our hips or to prayer posture. Making sure our hips are square to the front of our mat. And then exhaling, sending the hips back, straightening that front leg, lifting the toes. Breathing here. Taking several breaths as we feel the stretch. And then inhaling, bending that front knee. Knee over ankle, hands to the hips, lifting the chest. Scooching that right hip back as that left hip comes forward, keeping hips square to the front. Last time, sending those hips back into half split. Front leg straightens, lift the toes. Leaning forward, attempting to get our nose to our knee. Coming back to neutral, letting that front leg slide back to meet the other. Knees come hip mat width distance apart, toes touch behind us. Send our hips back, reach our hands forwards, resting our forehead to the mat, a block, or stacked fists. Child's pose. With your inhale, lifting back to table, and then swing your legs around to the front. Great job, yogis. Grab a sip of water. Take a just breath break. All right. Feet are extended long in front of us. Toes flex towards the ceiling. Let's go ahead and bend the right leg in. So the right sole of the foot is coming near the left hip. The left inner thigh. That would have been interesting. All right, go ahead and reach the arms up overhead and then leading with the chest, bending forwards, allowing your back to round, grabbing either at your shin, your ankle, your foot, wherever you can grab, attempting to get that forehead to the knee, breathing into the stretch. With your inhale, using your hands to press yourself back up. And then go ahead and change legs, other side. So the right leg is extended, the left leg is bent, with that left sole of the foot coming close to or touching that inner thigh of the right leg, lifting our arms up towards the heavens. And then with our exhale, leaning forward over our leg, allowing the back to round. Hands come to shins, ankle, your foot. You can use a strap if you like, up to you. Resting your forehead towards your knee, breathing into the body. With your inhale, pressing your hands up the leg, coming back up to seated. Great job. Let's do our butterfly posture before we lie down. So soles of the feet coming together. Our legs are in the shape of a diamond, so bent with the knees flopping out to the sides. You can take your blocks and support your knees if you choose. It's up to you, optional. And then with our inhale, sitting up long and tall. And then exhaling, leading with the chest, flat back. So you may not be able to go very far just yet. Inhale, lift through the spine. And then exhale, tilting a little bit forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the spine. And this time, exhaling, rounding the back, allowing the head to drop, grabbing onto your shins, ankles, feet, toes. Breathe into the body, observe sensations, find your edge, stretch and grow. With your inhale, pressing on back up to seated. Great job, yogis. You're doing beautiful. All right, let's allow our legs to swing long the length of our mat. We're going to lower down onto our backs, having our strap handy, blocks handy, whatever supports we might need in case we need them. And just resting on your back, noticing your breathing, just pausing in this moment. Let's go ahead and bend our left leg, allowing our left foot to make contact with the mat. Right leg stays long. And then go ahead and shimmy your hips towards your left leg so that you can roll over onto your right hip, allowing the left knee to cross your leg. Your arms come to a T. Gaze can stay up towards the sky. You can take that right hand and place it on the outside of the left thigh if you like. You can keep your gaze towards the sky, or you can gaze out over your left shoulder. Up to you. Breathe into the twist. With your inhale, bringing that left leg back up to center. Coming back onto your spine, so ensuring completely flat back. Allow that left leg to meet the right on the mat. And pick up the right leg, bending the right knee, right foot to the mat. shifting your body towards the right side so that you can roll over onto the left hip. That right knee comes across that straightened leg, and your gaze can stay up towards the sky, or you can gaze out over that right finger. Your left hand, can place some gentle pressure on the outside of the right thigh, deepening the twist. Breathing into the body. With your inhale, allowing that knee to float back up towards the sky, untwisting, coming back fully onto your back, letting both legs lie long. Great job, yogis. We're going to do the reclined pigeon, or the four square pose here before wrapping up. So go ahead and allow both knees to bend, both soles of the feet to come to the mat, and then just rocking your knees from side to side. Coming to stillness and lifting the left leg into the air, bending that left knee and turning it outwards, taking the outside of the left ankle and placing it on the right thigh. You can stay right here if you're already feeling the stretch, or you can lift that right foot off the ground, threading one hand through the hole, the other hand to meet it, clasping your hands on your thigh or your shin, pulling your legs in towards your chest, or just staying where you're feeling sensation. Breathing into the posture. Releasing the foot down to the ground if your legs were lifted. Lift that left leg into the air and let the left foot meet the right. Feet are hip width distance apart, and then go ahead and just gently rock knees side to side before we do the other side. Coming to stillness, lifting the right leg into the air, bending that right knee out towards the side and taking the outer right ankle, placing it on the left thigh. Stay here, or alternatively, lift the foot off the floor, threading your hand through the hole, grabbing fingers, clasping your hand either on your thigh or your shin. Breathing into the sensations, exploring your edge of the posture. If your leg is lifted, go ahead and gently release your hands, letting your leg float down to the floor, lifting that right foot into the air, and then placing it on the mat. Again, a gentle rock of the knees from side to side. All right, before we move into our final relaxation, Shavasana, I would like us to do an inversion, meaning our legs, our feet, are going to be lifted into the air. If you have a wall nearby, as you notice I've set up for myself, shimmy yourself over to a wall. If you don't have a wall nearby, if you have a couch, a recliner, a chair, something to lift your legs into the air and rest your feet against. So we're going to find our position, but this is literally called legs up the wall. So if you do have a wall nearby, that would be helpful. If not, as I said, any piece of furniture that you can lift your legs up would work. Now, you want to shimmy your bottom as close as you can to the wall and then get those feet in the air, gently resting our feet, our heels, or toes. I'd like to shimmy a little bit closer on the wall. And then the posture is just to stay, be, and breathe. Legs up the wall. Now, as my yoga instructors have told me during my teacher training, you can stay in this pose for up to 10 minutes. We won't do that today. I have stayed in this posture for up to 5 minutes. I've set a timer and I've done 5 minutes. And towards the end of those 5 minutes, I noticed myself really tingling and wondering and ready to squirm. My feet start feeling odd, my ankles, my legs feel a bit strange because this is not our usual posture. But you can stay in it for up to 10 minutes. This is an excellent posture for us because as human beings, we are Homo sapiens. We are erected beings. We are walking on our feet, and our feet are on the ground, and our head are above our feet. So our feet and our lower legs take the brunt of our day. Allowing the fluids to flow in the opposite direction is very healing for the body. Now, there's no right or wrong. You can wiggle your toes or they can stay still. Your hands can be rested at your hips or on your belly or out even to the side in a T. It's literally just about having the legs up the wall. Keep breathing, even if you're noticing sensation. If it's too much for you, by all means, listen to your body, honor yourself, and back out of the posture. But a little bit of sensation is perfectly normal. The healing is happening as our fluids flow and our body is reset with our legs up the wall. I'm going to stay about 1 more minute. It's up to you if you need to start shimmying your body down. Otherwise, just hanging on for about 60 more seconds. Moving slowly, moving gently, because the body was just inverted upside down, but moving slowly, bending our knees, allowing our legs to fall to one side. And then making your way back, if you had moved from your mat, making your way back to your mat for final relaxation. On your full spine on that blanket, allowing your arms to open, palms facing up. If you don't have a blanket, no worries, just lying on your back, flat on your back. This blanket underneath our spine like this just allows for deeper opening of the chest. Lift your hips to tuck your tailbone. Lift your shoulders to ensure they're flat to the mat. Gently closing your eyes for final relaxation. Noticing your breath. Performing a quick body scan. Noticing the feet, heels, ankles, lower legs, knees, upper legs, tailbone, pelvis and hips, the abdomen, the belly, lower back, rib cage and middle back, upper back and chest. Noticing the neck, clavicles, shoulders, upper arms and elbows, lower arms and wrists, palms of the hands, back of the hands, fingers, fingertips, thumb. Noticing the jaw, releasing the jaw, letting the tongue hang heavy. Relaxing the cheeks, nose, eyebrows, temples, forehead. Relaxing the back of the head and top of the head, the scalp. The whole body is relaxed. The whole body is relaxed. The whole body is relaxed. Go ahead and begin to wiggle the fingers, the toes. Gently allowing those physical movements to grow. Moving at the wrists and ankles. Stretching arms overhead. Taking a full body stretch from fingers to toes. Coming on back, letting the arms come to the sides. Rolling over onto your right side. Moving gently, slowly. Bending that right leg, taking the hands and pushing yourself back up to a seated posture of your choosing. Allowing the hands to drop to the sides. And then inhaling, palms facing up, gazing to the sky. Hands come together and touch. Exhaling, hands down the middle of the body to heart center. Thank you so much for practicing with me today in this yoga. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste, friends. All right, everyone. I so appreciate your presence in today's practice. Appreciate yourself for practicing. Thank yourself. Pat yourself on the back for being here. If you have anything in particular you'd like to see in future classes, go ahead and comment below. If you have questions about postures or poses, again, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. We'll be here again for a future class, so come on back. And there's many more on this page, so just scroll around and find the class that suits you. Chair yoga, qigong, seated practice, standing practice. I'd love for you to visit me. My website is my name, elizabethscala.com. You'll find a blog, other videos, more resources, and opportunities to work with me one-on-one. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you all.